to AI Assembled. I'm Chris Doelle. I'm your host, your curator. But let's get to the AI news.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to AI Assembled. This week has been absolutely crazy in the world of AI. So today we're going to do a deep dive on some of the top stories. Let's just jump right in because we have a ton to talk about.
Yeah, I agree. It has been an action-packed week in AI for sure. Between Google, OpenAI, and even a huge merger in the advertising world, there are some really fascinating stories to break down today.
Yeah, okay, so let's start with OpenAI. They're the company behind ChatGPT, of course.
Yeah.
And they've been cautiously dipping their toes into the world of advertising within ChatGPT. I've been using ChatGPT quite a bit myself.
Yeah.
And I'd hate to see it get all cluttered with annoying ads.
Yeah, well, I think the key word there is cautiously. OpenAI is facing a challenge a lot of AI companies are facing now, which is how to build a sustainable revenue model. I mean, developing these systems is incredibly expensive, so they need to find ways to generate revenue. And at the same time, they don't want to compromise the user experience, or even more importantly, they don't want to erode the trust that they built with their users.
Makes sense. So then how do you think they're going to approach it? I mean, I'm picturing banner ads popping up in the middle of a conversation or something. That'll be super distracting.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's why they're being so careful. They know they have to strike a delicate balance. They need to find ways to monetize without making ChatGPT less useful or less enjoyable to use. And this is a bigger trend that we're seeing, as AI technology matures. We're going to see a shift from just focusing on innovation to figuring out how to make it into a viable business and, most importantly, how to generate revenue.
Okay, so moving on then, Meta is reportedly using its Llama language model, which is similar to the tech behind ChatGPT, to power an internal productivity tool called MetaMate.
Oh, yeah, this is really fascinating. So they've developed this tool to help their employees be more productive. So you can imagine having an AI assistant that can help you schedule meetings, it can help you do research, and even draft emails.
Wow, that's amazing. I can think of so many ways that can save me time, especially those really tedious tasks that take up so much of my day.
Absolutely. And it's not just about saving time. It's about freeing up your mental energy so you can focus on the strategic stuff, the things that really require your unique human skills.
Exactly. And if a company like Meta is using AI for their own internal operations, it kind of makes you wonder how it could revolutionize other workplaces too, right?
Definitely.
Oh, hey, by the way, did you see that SoundHound stock went up like 61% after they launched their smart ordering system at Torchy's Tacos?
Oh, yeah, that was a big one. It's a perfect example of AI making a real impact in the real world. SoundHound is a company that specializes in voice AI, and their system lets customers place orders at Torchy's just by talking to an AI. So you can imagine no more waiting in line or dealing with those frustrating touchscreen kiosks.
It just makes things so much smoother. Plus, I'm always a fan of anything that makes getting tacos easier.
Me too. But it's not just about convenience. The system is also designed to improve order accuracy and speed up service, which obviously benefits both the customers and the restaurant.
Totally. And that 61% jump in SoundHound's stock price, well, that tells you that investors are definitely paying attention to this kind of real-world success. They see the potential of AI to transform industries, even industries like fast food.
Exactly. This is a clear sign that AI is moving beyond the hype, and it's actually starting to deliver tangible results.
Okay, well, let's switch gears for a second and talk about Google. Their CEO, Sundar Pichai, made some predictions about the pace of AI development, and he thinks that progress might actually slow down after 2025.
Yeah, that was interesting. He basically said that we've been in this phase of what he called low-hanging fruit, meaning that a lot of the initial innovations were relatively easy to achieve. But now the industry is shifting its focus to tackling more complex challenges.
So it's not that AI development is going to stop, but rather that those big breakthroughs might take a bit longer.
Right. We might see a shift from incremental improvements to more fundamental advancements, which could take more time and deeper research.
It kind of reminds me of that old saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, right?
Exactly. And developing truly transformative AI, it requires that same long-term vision and commitment.
Yeah, so on that note then, let's talk about a story that highlights how AI is becoming a factor in global politics. NVIDIA, the leading chip maker, is facing scrutiny over its acquisition of Mellanox.
Yeah, this is a really fascinating case. It shows how AI is becoming increasingly important on a global scale. China's antitrust investigation into the NVIDIA Mellanox deal, well, that sends a clear message that governments are paying close attention to what's happening in the AI space. And they're willing to step in when they feel like their national interests are at stake.
So AI isn't just a technological development anymore. It's a factor in international relations and global power dynamics.
Absolutely.
And that adds a whole new layer of complexity for businesses operating in this space. They have to be mindful not only of the technology itself, but also of the geopolitical landscape and how it could impact their operations.
You got.
It's a lot to keep track of. But I think it highlights the importance of staying informed and being adaptable, because the AI landscape is constantly evolving.
I couldn't agree more. Adaptability is key in this environment.
Okay.
And speaking of adapting, let's talk about C3.ai. They're a major player in enterprise AI software, and they just announced a huge integration with Microsoft Azure.
Okay, so this seems like a pretty big deal. What makes this partnership so interesting to you?
Well, for starters, you have C3.ai. They develop some seriously sophisticated AI applications for businesses. But to really make those applications work at scale, they need a powerful infrastructure. And that's where Microsoft Azure comes in. Azure has the cloud computing power and the global reach that C3.ai needs, so it's like a match made in heaven.
So it's kind of like each partner brings their own strengths to the table.
Exactly.
And it creates a much stronger combined force.
Exactly.
And for businesses that are thinking about using AI solutions, well, this partnership could make things a lot easier, because they can get everything they need from one place.
Yeah, it's a one-stop shop for all things AI.
The cloud infrastructure, the AI applications, it just streamlines the whole adoption process.
Absolutely, and that's a big deal. Because one of the biggest obstacles to AI adoption has been the complexity of implementation. But partnerships like this can help to lower those barriers.
So potentially, this could really speed up the pace of AI adoption across a bunch of different industries.
Exactly.
Okay, so are you ready for something completely different?
Hit me with it.
Let's talk about a merger that's shaking up the advertising world. Omnicom and Interpublic Group 2 advertising giants are merging.
Wow. Yeah, that's a huge deal. It's a $13.25 billion deal.
Billion with a B.
That's right.
And this is a clear sign that even traditional industries like advertising are being transformed by AI and data.
Yep, they're seeing the writing on the wall. The future of marketing is all about personalization. And to do that effectively, you need AI.
So these companies are betting big on data and AI.
They're creating a data-driven powerhouse.
It's like the old saying, data is the new oil. But now we're adding AI to the mix.
And this merger could have a ripple effect throughout the entire advertising ecosystem.
Yeah, it could change everything from how ads are created and targeted to how consumers experience advertising in their daily lives.
It's a whole new ballgame.
And it's a reminder that AI's impact goes way beyond the tech industry. It's changing everything.
Yeah, we're seeing it everywhere.
Okay, so speaking of the tech industry, let's loop back to OpenAI and Microsoft for a second.
Sure.
Their partnership is getting even deeper. And they're making some big improvements to GPT-4 Turbo, which is their flagship large language model.
Yeah, they're constantly pushing the boundaries.
So what are some of the key improvements that stand out to you?
Well, they've made GPT-4 Turbo even more powerful and versatile. They've given it a bigger knowledge base. They've improved its ability to understand and generate natural language. And they've made it faster and more efficient.
Wow, so it's like they've taken an already amazing tool and they made it even better.
Exactly.
But what really excites me is their focus on making these advanced AI capabilities more affordable.
Right, that's huge. Because it means that cutting-edge AI tools are becoming more accessible to smaller businesses.
It's like they're democratizing AI.
Exactly.
Putting these powerful tools in the hands of more people and organizations.
And that could lead to a massive wave of innovation.
As businesses find new and creative ways to use these tools.
Absolutely.
Okay, so before we go any further, I want to pause for a moment and talk about some key takeaways for business owners. We've thrown a lot of information at them today, and I'm sure many of them are wondering, okay, so what does all this mean for me?
That's a great point. And you're right. It's not enough to just sit back and watch these developments happen. Businesses need to be proactive.
So where should they start?
Well, first and foremost, I think it's crucial to cultivate a mindset of continuous learning.
So basically stay curious, stay informed.
Exactly.
Because the AI landscape is changing so rapidly.
That's right.
And the more you know, the better equipped you'll be to make strategic decisions about how to leverage AI in your business.
Absolutely.
And, it's not just about keeping up with the latest trends. It's also about being willing to experiment and learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, you got to be willing to try things out, see what works, what doesn't, and adapt your approach as you go.
So it's like a continuous cycle of learning and adaptation. And the second thing is, don't just focus on using AI to automate existing processes. Think bigger.
Yeah, think about how AI can fundamentally transform your business model. How can it help you create new products or services? How can it help you reach new customers?
It's about challenging your assumptions and reimagining what's possible.
Exactly.
And as you're exploring these possibilities, it's also really important to stay informed about AI regulations and ethical considerations.
Oh, absolutely. The legal and ethical landscape around AI is constantly evolving, so businesses need to be proactive about ensuring that their AI initiatives are compliant and responsible.
It's about finding that balance between innovation and responsibility.
Exactly.
And last but not least, don't be afraid to collaborate and partner with other businesses or organizations.
Yeah, we saw a great example of that with C3.ai and Microsoft. Strategic alliances can give you access to expertise, resources, and market reach that you might not have on your own.
It's about leveraging the collective intelligence and capabilities of the AI ecosystem. And, before we wrap up this section on recommendations,
Sure.
there's one more thing I want to add. And it's something that's often overlooked. Your team.
Oh, yeah, that's a really important point.
AI is a powerful tool, but it's only as effective as the people who are using it.
Absolutely.
So invest in training and development programs. Help your team develop the skills and knowledge they need to use AI effectively.
Yeah, give them the tools and the support they need to succeed.
Foster a culture of collaboration and knowledge sharing. Encourage experimentation and learning from mistakes.
It's all about empowering your team to embrace AI and to become active participants in this technological transformation.
It's amazing to think just how far AI has come in such a short amount of time. I mean, a few years ago, all this stuff would have sounded like something straight out of a sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it really does feel like we're living in the future sometimes.
But for business owners who are just starting to explore AI, it can all feel a little overwhelming. There's so much information out there. It's hard to know where to begin.
I totally get that.
So let's simplify things a bit. If you're a business owner listening to this, what are some practical steps you can take today to start using AI?
Well, first things first, you got to figure out what your business actually needs. Don't just jump on the AI bandwagon because everyone else is doing it. Think about where AI can actually make a difference in your specific business.
So it's about finding that sweet spot
Yeah,
where AI capabilities and business goals align.
exactly.
Okay, so once you've identified your needs, what's next?
Then you got to start looking at the different AI tools and solutions that are out there. There's a ton of options available, so you need to do your research and choose the ones that are the best fit for your specific requirements.
It's kind of like buying a car, right? You wouldn't just buy the first one you see on the lot.
Yeah. Exactly. You'd shop around, you'd compare different models, you'd think about your budget and your needs.
And test drive a few.
Absolutely.
And investing in AI is kind of the same way.
You want to make sure you're making informed decisions.
So don't be afraid to reach out to experts or consultants. They can help you navigate the AI landscape and make the right choices for your business.
That's great advice.
Now, we've talked a lot about the potential benefits of AI, but what about the risks? What are some things that business owners should be cautious about?
Well, one of the biggest risks is over-relying on AI without understanding its limitations. AI is a powerful tool, but it's not a magic solution to every problem. It's important to remember that AI algorithms are only as good as the data they're trained on, and they can be biased or make mistakes.
So it's not about replacing human judgment with AI. It's about using AI to enhance human decision-making.
Exactly.
And another risk is forgetting about the ethical implications of AI.
Right. As AI becomes more integrated into our lives, we need to make sure that it's used in a way that's fair, transparent, and accountable.
We need to think about the potential impact of AI on our employees, our customers, and society as a whole.
Couldn't agree more.
And of course, we can't forget about data security and privacy.
Oh yeah, that's huge. AI systems often rely on massive amounts of data, so it's essential to have strong security measures in place to protect that data from unauthorized access or breaches.
It's about being responsible with data and making sure you're using it in a way that respects people's privacy.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been an incredibly insightful deep dive into the world of AI. We've covered a lot of ground today, from the latest breakthroughs to the potential benefits and risks of AI for businesses.
And I think one of the key takeaways is that AI isn't just some futuristic concept anymore.
It's here, it's now, and it's already transforming every industry.
It's a truly exciting time to be alive.
And for anyone who wants to learn more about AI, I highly recommend reaching out to Chris at freshmediaworks.com. He's passionate about helping businesses understand and leverage the power of AI.
He's the best.
Before we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with one final thought.
We've talked about a lot of individual stories today.
But the bigger picture is that AI is about so much more than just technology.
It's a fundamental shift in how we think, how we work, and how we interact with the world.
So as you navigate this new AI-powered landscape, remember to stay curious, adaptable, and above all human.
Well said.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of AI Assembled. Until next time, stay informed and stay inspired.
Join the Business Success Academy at freshmediaworks.com to connect with like-minded professionals, access essential resources, and stay ahead with the latest strategies for business growth. Visit freshmediaworks.com and click on the Business Success Academy logo to take your next step towards success today.
Please be sure to subscribe and like so that more people can hear the amazing stories that are happening each and every week in artificial intelligence.